Good afternoon. These are the top stories on Panorama today. Nigerian Army responds to a terrorist propaganda video assuring Nigerians that the military remains firmly in control and committed to ending insurgency. Department of State Services arrests a suspect in connection with the attack in Edo State involving Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi. And DSS crushes an arms trafficking syndicate in Gombe State, recovering weapons and disrupting a major supply network linked to criminal elements. Details shortly. I am Ogochkuka Ona, and you are welcome. The Nigerian Army has reacted to a renewed propaganda by remnants of Boko Haram and Islamic State West Africa Province, ISWAP, currently circulating old photographs and recycled media reports in a desperate attempt to mislead the public to assume they have the capacity to unleash mayhem on troops and law-abiding citizens. A statement by the Media Information Officer, Operation Hedin-Kai, Colonel Sani Uba, says, contrary to the false narratives by terrorists and their sympathizers, the operational reality indicates that insurgent elements are in severe disarray following sustained, coordinated air and ground offensives by Operation Hedin-Kai. Troops recently delivered decisive attacks on terrorist enclaves and logistics networks across multiple fronts, adding that the clips do not reflect the present operational situation on the ground, stressing that at no point have Operation Hedin-Kai lost 20 soldiers, and also noting that improved capabilities and coordinated air and ground assault on the terrorists is yielding the required results. The Army headquarters urges members of the public and the media to verify information from credible official sources before sharing to avoid aiding the terrorists' propaganda. And now the Department of State Services has arrested a man suspected of being behind a recent attempt to assassinate the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, in Benin, Edo State. Obi, a former governor of Edo State, Chief John Oyegun, and several chieftains and members of the opposition All Democratic Congress ADC on February 24 escaped death by the whiskers when armed men fired several gunshots at them at their party meeting in Benin. Shortly after the attack, one Udeme Monday, Stephen, a 26-year-old Chicha in Rivers State, posted on his X account at Steve Tom 788, where he claimed responsibility for the attack and threatened further attacks on Obi. Stephen stated online that Obi was lucky to have escaped in Benin and vowed that the former presidential candidate wouldn't be that lucky next time. He is to be charged to court. And similarly, operatives of the Department of State Services have dismantled a suspected arms trafficking ring in Gombe State, arresting 2 alleged couriers and recovering 2 rocket-propelled grenade warheads, an RPG launcher, and other weapons. A statement by the DSS notes that the suspects, Mohammed Al-Haji Mohammed, 55, and Sani Geisha, 47, were intercepted at Mararaba Tula in Kaltungo local government area while traveling in a grey Toyota Corolla with registration number Taraba Jalingo 475YQ. Security sources say the operation followed 3 weeks of covert surveillance targeting a notorious arms network operation operating across Bauchi, Gombe, Taraba, and Adamawa states. The suspects reportedly confessed that the weapons were destined for a contact in Kukawa village, Akarleri local government area of Bauchi State. In a related development, DSS operatives rescued a 6-year-old boy, Mohammed Jabiru, allegedly lured and kidnapped under the guise of teaching him how to ride a motorcycle. The suspect, Salisu Hassan, has also been taken into custody. The child has since been reunited with his grateful parents. All suspects remain in DSS custody and will be charged to court upon conclusion of investigation. And in other matters now, in a major stride towards administrative efficiency, the Kebbi State government has begun full operations at the new Bola Ahmed Tinubu ultra-modern secretariat complex, bringing all ministries under one roof and opening a new chapter in public service delivery across the state. Abdul Mohammed Bawa reports.
The newly commissioned facility, inaugurated by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on February 14, 2026, and named after him, is designed to accommodate over 21,000 civil servants, centralize government operations, and promote better coordination among ministries. Speaking at the official flag-off ceremony, the Secretary to Kebbi State Government, Yakubu Balatefida, urged civil servants to reciprocate the government investment with renewed dedication, discipline, and punctuality, emphasizing that improved infrastructure must translate into improved productivity and accountability in the public service.
We will ensure that everything is adequately done in terms of provision of security, catering services.
The State Head of Service, Malami Shekari, assured that adequate measures have been put in place to ensure proper maintenance of the facility, stressing that the complex is built to stand the test of time.
We will provide the services of the company that are mainly for the cleaning of the secretariats only.
The new edifice is expected to strengthen institutional efficiency and streamline governance in the state. In Birnin Kebbi, Abdul Mohammed Bawa.
Governor Amadu Umaru Fintiri of Adamawa says purposeful leadership will be his focus to strengthen the All Progressives Party and to consolidate on the mandate of APC and ensure victory of President Bola Tinubu in the 2027 elections. The governor stated this during his maiden meeting with APC stakeholders after joining the party. Bilkisu Abubakar reports.
Meant to consolidate on the APC strength and ensure the victory of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and all APC candidates in the next general elections. Governor Ahmadu Umar Fintiri, who assured his loyalty to the party, said his defection marks the beginning of new political chapter in Adamawa, a decision guided by consideration for long-term stability and development rather than personal ambition, and urged former PDP members to integrate into the APC with discipline, maturity, loyalty, and unity.
Collective efforts and support across party, ethnic and religious line within the state. If we are not able to get all this support, all what we have done wouldn't have been possible.
The APC National Vice Chairman, Northeast, Mustafa Salihu, Minister of Livestock Development, Mukhtar Idi Maiha, among other speakers, described the defection of the governor and the PDP members in Adamawa as a welcome development and promised to work together as one indivisible family. The APC stakeholders meeting paved way for the new members to work in the interest of the mandate of the party. In Yola, Bilkisu Abubakar, NTA News.
And still talking politics, the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Nentawe Yiwada, has attributed the party's expanded membership and electoral competitiveness to its robust internal structures, technology-driven membership system, and transparent approach to party administration. In a statement signed by his special advisor on media and communications strategy, Abimbola Tuku, APC's adoption of electronic registration has fundamentally strengthened party organization and mobilization. Professor Yiwada explained that the APC has linked its membership register to the National Identity Management Commission. A move, he said, has helped to clean and validate the party's database, eliminate duplication, and improve internal accountability. He stressed that the APC remains unique in its flexibility, having successfully conducted primaries through consensus, direct primaries, and indirect primaries, depending on what best serves party unity and internal democracy. The newly appointed Acting Inspector General of Police is to be sworn in as the substantive IG next week, following the ratification of his appointment by the Nigeria Police Council. State House correspondent Musbao Dan Wahab reports.
the council sat basically because of the acting Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, who was appointed just last week and decorated Wednesday last week following the resignation of immediate past Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun. And today the council just met to consider the record of this man who has been appointed by the president, and they consider the record, the past, what he's been able to do in the police force, and they have ratified from their level. We spoke to the chairman of Nigeria Governors Forum, that's Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdurazak earlier. Let's just take a listen to him.
He has his work cut out for him, especially in this age of talks about state police. Now, the challenges are there. He's been through it. He did a major assignment with the Rapid Response in Lagos State and FCT, so he has a record to show that he can perform. There's great expectation from the states, 36 states and FCT, which he has to organize. Wish him all the best, and we look forward to working with him.
I've had a unique opportunity to have worked with him. He had served under me within the Lagos State Police Command for about 4 or 5 years, but specifically about 2.5 years during my tenure as the commander of Rapid Response Squad. And during that time, not only did he succeed as a police officer, he was also able to manage close to 3,000 special squad of police officers and men, you know, to help reduce and manage extensively any form of issues in Lagos.
Now we have the senior advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Nanuga, with us to tell us about the outcome of that meeting of the Nigeria Police Council. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. Well, the council met and unanimously approved the nomination of AIG Tunji Disu to fill the vacant position of Inspector General of Police. The update that I have is that on Wednesday, the president is formally swearing in as Inspector General of Police.
It's interesting that you said the president will be swearing him in on Wednesday, coming Wednesday next week. And then what has been in the public is that his name will be forwarded to the Senate for confirmation. What about that?
No, on the advice of the Senate, it is no longer necessary. The Police Act actually does not provide for the screening of an IG of police at the Senate. So we are going with that. That's why he has to be sworn in on Wednesday.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. Mr. Bayo Nanuga, essay to the President on information and strategy. So that is it. It is no longer necessary for the name of Tunji Disu to go to the Senate National Assembly for confirmation. So by Wednesday next week, we expect that it will be formally sworn in as the substantive Inspector General of Police for Nigeria. And it's back to you.
All right, thank you, Musbao, for that information. We'll now take a break, and when we return, our Lagos Network Center will be taking over from here, and Hingino will be our guide.
Good to know you're still there, and welcome to Lagos. We begin by telling you that medical experts are sounding an alarm that global obesity rate is increasing. To turn the tide, the focus is shifting towards balancing nutrition and drastic reduction in sugar and salt intake. Diana Ajale in this report examines root causes of obesity, risk factors, and preventive measures.
The numbers are staggering. Data from the World Health Organization, WHO, shows that over 1 billion people are now living with obesity globally. Nigeria Demographic and Health Survey reveals that 13% of adults are obese, higher rate among women. More worrisome is that 6.1% of children under 5 are already overweight or obese.
It's a serious public health issue. Some of the contributions to obesity are, number one, making frequent, difficult and condition that can lead to kidney failures, vision problems, and nerve damage if not properly managed.
Experts identify unhealthy diet, sedentary lifestyle, genetic and environment as factors.
The advice we give to people about prevention is to live a healthy lifestyle, a lifestyle that includes adequate exercise and usually 30 to 40 minutes of a brisk walk every day will suffice. We also tell people to eat a healthy diet, and a healthy diet contains carbohydrates, contains protein, contains fats in the right proportion.
The consequences go far beyond weight. Doctors warn that obesity is a gateway to life-threatening conditions, including type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and several types of cancers. As the world focuses on 8 billion reasons to act on obesity, experts are advocating the need for collective action in curbing the alarming obesity rates among children and adolescents. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
To put more emphasis on the need to address the rising rates of obesity, especially among children, is dietitian Sholakbe Akinlonu of the Maternal and Child Center, Etiosa. Thank you for joining us on Panorama.
Thank you very much.
Okay, can you just help us understand obesity? What are the root causes of obesity and how do they vary across different communities?
Okay, by way of definition, we say obesity is a chronic disease condition which is characterized by excessive fat accumulation in the body and poses significant health risk. And when it comes to risk factors or root causes of obesity, it varies a lot, really. Look at the genetic factor, hereditary factor. We look at diet in itself, when you are eating, when a person is overeating or eating food that are of high calorie intake, that can be a risk factor to obesity. Look at the activity pattern of the person. A person that is sedentary, oftentimes, probably spend about 3/4 of his time sitting, not moving around, is likely to develop or to cope down with obesity. We look at different medications that people use over time, appetite boosters, some disease like DM, that is diabetes, some of the medications that are being used can actually predispose people to having obesity, antidepressants, weight gain medications too can also play out. Then we look at stress. When somebody is stressed, a type of hormone we call cortisol increases and it can increase fat storage in the system. Look at environmental factor, where you are, what is most available in terms of food, in terms of activity. If it's those food that are cheap and are high in calorie, are high in sugar, or that are refined, then you see that you have that person gradually having increased weight. Then you look at social economic status. Once somebody has a higher income, there's a tendency that they want to buy, in quotes, nutritious meals, but by way of definition, they don't actually fall into the nutritious type of food that will encourage them to eat. And so once this conditions or this environment plays out, or these factors plays out, the person is prone to developing obesity at some point in time.
So now, how does obesity affect mental health and what support systems are needed?
Okay, when it comes to mental health, there is a strong link between mental health and obesity. And that's because there's a lot of stigmatization that comes with obesity from every angle of the society, from the family to the school to the community. Everybody seems to have something to say about this person that is obese. So they call names, they are biased in the way they attend to them. Even in public spaces, they are sitting down, they make jests, so all these things leads to stigmatization. And eventually what happens is that you will have common features like depression come into play. You have anxiety come to play. We have them having low self-esteem because they really don't believe in themselves, because people are just concentrating on their weight. And that is why they begin to have more mental challenges. And if you are not careful, this further dips them down into the abyss of obesity, because their coping mechanism is to eat more. And so once they eat more, the obesity continues to increase and becomes something that is even more of further health risk to them. You're talking about stroke can play out anytime, heart conditions can play out anytime. So the biasment that comes with obesity, the stigmatization that comes with obesity, leads to psychological challenges that will be a bit of a challenge when it even comes to the interventions that we usually want to adopt when we are managing people with obesity.
Now, talking prevention and treatment, what policies can government put in place to promote healthy food environment and active living?
When it comes to what governments can do, there's a lot they can do, really, especially starting from the place of policy. We need a lot of policy that comes to play. Policy that ensures that healthy foods are available and accessible. You look at the fact that it can encourage farming. Farming is something that a lot of people want to do, but because of the different challenges that comes with farming, it makes it a bit difficult for a lot of people to go into farming. And we know that food is essential for every living being. And so if it's not available, we have a lot of health issues in our hands. So governments can create policies and the conducive environment by way of loans, by way of giving lands, by way of giving seedlings, just to ensure that people can go into farming and can have more of the healthy food available. Also, you can look at government increasing taxation over these unhealthy food items. When you go to stores, you see a lot of branded packaged food, and it's so easy to pick them and eat. And if we don't have increased taxation over them, you find that people will still find it very, very convenient for them to pick those things on the shelves and eat. So if they increase taxation over them, it becomes a bit more challenging for them to pick, and people can easily go back to those locally sourced food that are close to their natural state and have more health benefit to them. Then you can look at the aspects of ensuring that there is restriction when it comes to marketing of unhealthy things to children. Unfortunately, we have the social media to fault, because when you go on the social media platform, you see a lot of advertisements that continue to encourage the intake of highly processed or highly refined food or sugar-sweetened food. So if there can be a cap on those things, reducing the exposure children have to this, then that can help with the reduction of taking these food items in question.
All right, now let me come in here. How can healthcare systems provide comprehensive care for people living with obesity?
Okay, when it comes to comprehensive healthcare being given by the healthcare system, now, one of the approaches to look at is to adopt a patient-centered, multidisciplinary approach, which means that the patient is key. Everything you are doing, you ensure that your patient is the one that you are looking at in terms of the way you relate with them. Then when it comes to multidisciplinary approach, it means every professional that is needed to ensure the success of the management of obesity are on board. For example, from the medical point of view, the doctors are there to carry out metabolic analysis on the patients. We have the dietitians or the nutritionists giving nutritional care services. We have the physiotherapists or fitness coaches helping with physical activity. You have pharmacological. That means the pharmacy can come to play, because sometimes there are medications that can enhance weight loss. Then when it comes to severe cases, you can have surgical intervention. So if you have all these professionals on board and they are there at each point in time to help with their space, then the management of obesity can actually be successful. More importantly, we have training. We have to train and retrain ourselves. Create an environment where everything needed for the management is what is in place. For example, the right seats.
All right, thank you so much, dietitian Sholakbe Akinlonu, for your thoughts on this all-important topic on Panorama today. Time is against us. We have to stop here. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
All right. Time now for sports updates.